and you got to just try to deal with it, adapt, and move along. But you got to look at these three guys now. 39 years in prison, the technology in 1975. I have a good friend that's in prison now, guilty. We call it California Bob. He's been in prison 42 years. And he used to tell the story, he tells all kinds of stories, but he got locked up. And the last thing he remembered, he stopped at what was called a sundry shop, where you could get gas, cigarettes, clothes, and things like that. He bought a tank of gas, a carton of cigarettes, a pair of Levi jeans with a $10 bill, and got change back. Now these guys have been in prison that long. You know, when they pulled up to a service station, there was somebody that came out, checked the oil, washed the windows and everything. And they're going to get ready to get hit with the World Wide Web and everything else on Friday. Mm-hmm. So that's something to be looking out for is if you see these guys on the street, give them a hand, because they're going to need it.
Both these guys are going to be there for them on Friday. That's an important brotherhood.
Yeah, those guys are going to be lost like an Easter egg.
Can you take another question?
Right there.
Right. I didn't come in here until late. I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys talked about it.
Okay, we got Jesus' brother.
I'm just curious about what was like the initial reaction you got from your attorney when you told him, "Hey, I'm innocent on this." What kind of reaction did you get out of your attorney right away? You know,
When what?
when you told him you were innocent.
Back at the beginning.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Oh, my original
Yeah.
trial attorney?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he believed me. You know, it's just that when you go through this right here, especially when you're convicted, I made up this theory called the 70-20-10 theory, where 70% of the people don't believe because you were convicted in a court of law. 20% of the people, where they made a waiver, they say, well, I hope he didn't do it, you know. Then you got the 10% of the people that really believe you and trust you and fight with you and fight for you. And that's basically the way it is, because once you're convicted in a court of law, you're done. People are not going to believe it.
Yeah, your integrity and your word's gone right there.
Did your attorney believe you?
I don't know. I have so much to say about the man, but you know, and this is my theory on it. They all play golf at the same country club. They all eat at the same steakhouse. They all
about the prosecutors and the judge and the
all
attorney.
the people in these local systems, and it just it's a fraternity there, a brotherhood that's hard to break. You know, subsequently, my attorney did get on board and help Mark here on a lot of things.
He certainly came to believe by the end. I can't speak about 20-some years ago.
Yeah, just the way my case went down. You know, Ray Charles could have seen the problems here.
Can you talk about like Ohio's compensation? I know in some states they compensate people who are wrongly for their kind of value that.
Yeah, we have a compensation statute. On its face, it is somewhat generous compared to other states. The amount varies each year with inflation, but it's around $48,000 per year of incarceration, plus the amount you can show in lost wages. But there's some difficulties there. Dean's case is still going because the state has continued to appeal both victories in both courts, so it's going to take, he's got a compensation suit pending, but it can't really move forward. It's stayed until all the appeals are done, which is hard to know, could take another year or two. Robert received compensation.
And Jim Petro helped me. I want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Jim Warden helped.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Yeah,
Michelle.
they did his compensation suit for extremely reduced, basically pro bono, to help him get the money he needed. But it's the way the statute's written, it's very difficult to get compensation. But what's happened recently with some of our more recent exonerations, after we've had several clients get $6 million, some of the early ones, $7 million. The statute says that there's various problems that have to be met, and one is that the person cannot be retried, or basically the case is completely over, and there's no chance they can be retried in the future. So more recently, when the prosecutors have lost, they dismissed the charges without prejudice. And they just sort of throw out there, well, you know, there's no statute of limitations on murder, so if we ever get any evidence 20 years from now, we'll bring charges against them. And that makes you sort of lose on that last problem. So it makes it very difficult to get compensation, but Robert's got his, Dean's eventually going to get his.
And it's not about the compensation either, I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's no amount of money on this earth that can pay for what they've done to us. They couldn't bring a truckload of money to my house every day to make me forget this. It's just like me going out and saying, I'll cut your leg off, throw it out the window, come back tomorrow and say, dang, I made a mistake, here's $5,000. Oh no, I want my leg back. It's not about the money. It's about the only way to get these people's attention, and it's just like any corporation or anything else, is to get in their pocketbook. And that is the only way you're going to get their attention, to say, you were wrong, I was right. No money in the world can fix this. It's impossible. And you've got to look at these guys that done 39 years. How do you pay for that? How do you even come up with a figure for that? A guy was 20 days from being executed. How do you compensate for that? It's impossible. It's the only thing compensation does is helps you progress in life and have a little more way of getting out and you know, adjusting and having money to do things. But it doesn't make it go away.
On a lighter note, I'll add that the best car I ever drove in was Robert's here with the custom Mercedes with 3 or 4 televisions in it. And a license plate that says, I deserve.
Absolutely.
Some of the issues that you're going to have when you get your money, and the other guys will open your money. There's issues that we have. One is certain people are going to feel entitled. Okay, they're going to want money from you. They're going to want favors from you, and they need to understand that we didn't hit the lotto. You know, we didn't hit the lotto, and family members come around. We play a few numbers, and we get $1.5 million, and family come around. It's not the same. This is the closest thing to pain and misery money that you're going to see, and I don't think it's fair for some people to want what you have and demand what you have, or feel that they're entitled to it.
Yeah, every one of these guys that gets these huge compensation then start having family problems. I mean, it's just like, you know, you look at it, that's the, oh, they got their money, it's the end of it, and it causes all these new stresses.
I had to learn to say no in 22 different languages. A wise man told me that I will know who loves me and who cares about me after I tell them no. And I learned to say it quite well, but sometimes